Oh, the one you just ordered. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably not.
I'm just trying to figure out how the cyber arm weapons will work. Because they need to be in the weapons tab, and just like what.
And
what
the arm has to be exposed so that the pop-ups can freely launch.
Yeah, it's going to be concealment, can't be hid. So.
Right, but you can't like wear armor. You can't be like in a Metal Gear, right? Because the pop-up will bounce off of the. You also can't be wearing other types of armor. I
don't wear any types of armor really, anyway.
Okay.
Because I've got skin weave and subdermal.
We're back for the second half.
Hello.
Hello.
You guys have some downtime actions. Tell me about them. Henley, we haven't heard a lot from Wolfgang. What do you got?
Yeah, okay.
You got something you wanted to do?
Yeah, armor up this fucking this Humvee.
Ah, okay. All right. So are you finding a fixer to get you the hookup, or are you just going to go out there fresh to the Nomads?
It's a really good question.
That is a really good question.
Adding in a fixer would make things exceptionally more expensive.
It's true, but you know, the fixer's there to make sure neither side gets screwed.
And I think for the time being, I'll just go out there.
Party.
Okay, you head out to the western side.
That's true as well, but yeah. It's not really your forte, though. If we're going to be completely honest, you're
Well, no, but you know, I do have street deal, but
there's a Spaghetti Junction interchange on the west side of town. You know, like an 18-laner that goes 6 different directions. And just beyond
Is that what you call them? That's cool.
Spaghetti Junction.
Never heard that term before. Yeah.
Well, I think that Spaghetti Junction might be specific to the one in Atlanta, but yeah.
All right.
there's one outside Boston too.
Is that what they call it there? I mean, I only know it from the Atlanta interchange.
It's the Spaghettiville Bridge or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So past that, there are large open parking lots and places where buildings once stood, and they've all been razed down and burned to the ground with the Nomad Wars. So in the morning, there's not a lot of Nomad presence here, since they mostly sleep during the day and then run packages in and out at night. Daytime is Raffin Shiv territory. It's where bad Nomads attack anybody moving in rural New Jersey. There are some Nomads who are awake and moving around, and they are eyeing you and your Hummer, right? And they're trying to size up who you are and what you're doing driving a Hummer alone into Nomad territory in the middle of the day.
All right. Well, I'll wave him over.
All right. So it looks like there's a little bit of a competition between two families here, and then one of them like outflexes the other. The guy gets on a scooter, and I'm not talking like a motorized scooter. I'm talking like something you'd put one foot on and use another foot to kick in order to move you forward. Mm-hmm. Like something that would have been popular in the kids in like 2010. He uses that to push his way over to you, and he goes, "Yeah, man, what you got, Chum? Driving out here in that Corp vehicle with like American metal?"
This is a Corp vehicle?
It's a Hummer.
Oh, I thought it was Army. Anyway, I'm looking for someone who can do some modifications for me on a vehicle. This one.
Yeah? What kind of modifications you want to it?
Oh, it needs armor protection.
He nods like, yeah, sure does. You want to make it Nomad?
Well, I happen to be in a line of work where I am on the receiving end of automatic rifle fire on often, and I need a vehicle that can not fall prey to it as often as one would think it does.
Okay. Gonna cut down on cargo space. Make it slow. You good with that?
Well, Hummers for me aren't necessarily the fastest vehicles out there. This is mostly just to make sure that me and my personnel don't end up mincemeat.
He says, hey, look, these are versatile machines. You want it to be a scout vehicle, it's a scout vehicle. You want it to be a transport, I can make it a transport for you. Different jobs, different characteristics.
This one just needs to make sure bullets don't get inside the interior.
We can do that for you. You got the eddies?
Of course. But I need to know that you're good for it. I'm not just going to hand over eddies to a whim.
Who are you with?
That is a very open-ended question. Can you be more specific?
Talk like you're corporate.
Why? Because I don't talk street slang?
You come to Nomad Village? You're not talking street slang? You ain't talking street pigeon? You don't say where you're from? You're corporate. Who you with? Look, you want to know who you're getting into bed with? Before I take you to my family, I want to know who you are getting into bed with.
In terms of like, Arthur, just remind me here, in terms of like contract signed with Dante Fierro,
Yeah.
What exactly in terms of...
You're literally a contractor for him. You don't officially work for any of his corporations, but you work for him. You could say you work for Dante. He's not a Megacorp, but they probably know his name. You could also legitimately say Arasaka here.
So I turn to him and say, I'm not in bed with anyone, if that's what you're asking. I do work on a contract basis for a
You a
couple
merc?
of people. Yes, Merc.
Come here without a fixer, huh? Oh, that's good.
I have a friend who's a fixer, but this isn't his speciality.
It's fine. We don't need a middleman. You trust us? As long as you don't screw us, we trust you. The eddies are good and they're real. We're gonna need them in paper.
Paper's
No
fine.
credits. Okay. So he like whistles to somebody to pull aside like some corrugated steel that's sectioning off this specific nomad family's area. Motions for you to come forward and it's like, we'll take a look at it. We'll give you a quote. You come back with the eddies. We do the work. Sound good?
You mind if I wait here while you quote
We
this
need
out?
you to drive the car in unless you trust us to take the keys from you.
I do not, good sir.
Then you come
I'll be
with
honest
us.
with you.
Yeah, so he's like gesturing for you to just drive it into their, parking lot living area.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, so they get like a mobile jack to just lift the car up and take a look under it and confirm that it's like a stock standard Humvee and give you a quote for, you wanted to give it maximum up armoring, right? Up to 50% with a 50% speed minus.
If I remember correctly, you could go all the way up to 30 with this, but I don't think we needed to go that high. We only need to go as high as like 20, I think, in terms of SP.
Okay. Every 10% increase lowers the speed by 10%. So
Yeah. So we can go up to, if I remember correctly, because it has like
you can maximum up to
30, I think it was.
How much armor are you looking to get added? 20?
It starts with 10, but we'll push it up to 20 SP.
Okay, so another
extra
10 is going
armor.
to cost you 5,000 eddies.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, they give you a quote of 6,000 eddies to do the work.
And is this going to be like visible armor, or is this going to be like...
I mean, they're going to do it nomad style, so it's going to be like armor plates, like ablatively placed over other plates. It's going to look like a nomad vehicle for sure. It's not going to look like a nice Medtech van. It's going to work, and it's going to be fast, and it's going to be relatively cheap.
As in like fast to do or fast to drive?
Both. I mean, if you're only getting 20%, it's still going to be faster drive.
Okay. I sort of look at the other cars that they've got, and I was like, can you do this a little bit more less ostentatious?
You want it to look like it belongs.
Yes.
All right, so they get together and they begin speaking Creole to each other. And then one of them comes back and says, yeah, okay. 6,500 euro bucks. Eddies, we make it look good. We integrate the armor into the chassis of the body. Ceramic plating, that kind of deal. You don't need any electronic warfare, any baffling or chafe, right?
It would be very interesting if you could add any sort of additional security measures to make sure that we can have like a safe box or something like that in there.
You want to somehow something you turn the wheel on, 22, 36, 22.
Well, I was thinking something a little bit more electronic if you had it.
Yeah, you bring us a case like that, we'll get it bolted into the back.
Okay. That's probably something that we can arrange.
Okay, you come back with the eddies, you come back with the case, we get it done same day.
Well, the case will be later, but I can give you the car and the eddies right now, and we can get it done now.
Okay, you show us the eddies, we get started.
Yeah, so I'll walk back to the car, and I'll take out like 7,000 eddies.
Okay, you're carrying your briefcase full of eddies here?
No.
Okay.
Obviously. I'll take 7,000 though and give it to them.
All right.
So an extra 500 on top for making friends, that sort of thing.
All right. He shows you how to do a complicated handshake that involves, like 3 parts and says, name's Adriano.
Wolfgang.
Okay. You're with the Bayou family. We don't come up here often, but we do good work. You need more stuff done, you come to us, okay? We treat you right.
Can you, have you done motorcycles before, out of curiosity?
Yeah, he gestures to the fleet here. There's probably about 30 vehicles, and it looks like there's a sort of military segmentation, like the motorcycles are all next to smaller one-person tents, and like the RVs or bigger family vehicles have like a larger tenting next to it, and like the sedans have like 2 or 3 person tents. It seems like this family does like everything. They've got a variety of vehicles. Nothing hugely openly combat-y, but you're pretty sure you see like a pop-up rocket launcher on at least one of the cars.
I turned to him and I was like, one other thing, you wouldn't happen to have any sort of skill chips for piloting aero vehicles or planes or anything?
You talking
like that?
fixed wing, gyro?
Anything.
Okay, look, I got a cousin. He makes them. You give me 24 hours, we can get them here.
Well, I would, we recently ran into a problem where a pilot of ours had problems piloting, and it was...
Yeah, it doesn't work very well, does it?
No.
Look, you tell me what you want and what rating you want on it, we'll get it to you. But just know it's not going to be that corporate stuff. We hand code it, Nomad style.
As long as it works and
it works.
We continue to have a good friendship together, I'll trust the stuff you give me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so what type of, just out of curiosity, Arthur, what do I have to segregate the piloting skills? Because drive is drive.
Yes, drive is drive. There's also drive motorcycle, which is not the same as car. And each of the piloting skills is its own skill. Like flying a plane is not the same as flying a helicopter. It's not the same as flying a blimp.
And when you get into like the
AVs,
yeah, like is it AV? Well. It's AV, helicopter, gyro, and blimp.
Fixed wing.
Fixed wing. Okay. Well, I still got fucking.
A
I've literally
dirigible.
got 10 slots available in my brain. So I think if I can go AV and maybe what do you guys think? Like a fixed wing would probably be like something that would come up more often, maybe. Because we've had a couple of opportunities where planes have come up. So
I mean,
I
none
would
of
have
us
thought
can-
that gyro would have been a more common thing, especially around Redline City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll tell him like AV and gyro.
Okay. What rating do you want on him?
3 points.
All right. He'll give you 10% off the book value.
Okay. What is that at the moment?
You'll have
I
to look
actually
that
don't-
up.
Yeah, that might be quite expensive if I know my.
And he offers you a beer or tequila or a beer in a shot of tequila. Sorry, a tequila and a shot of beer, whichever ones you want. While you sit and wait while they work on your car.
Pilot skills
take
are
a-
300 per level or 350 per level for AV.
Okay, yeah, I'll get a 3. That's like what? That's like €3,000
No, so it'd be 900 for
It'll be
non-AV.
1950 total, minus 10%.
1950.
1755 is what they end up charging you for these 2 skill chips, and again, they won't have them until tomorrow.
1755. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I can get those 2 skill chips.
Okay, all right. So his cousin's gonna bring him down tomorrow from some location.
So 8,755 in total.
That sounds right.
Given, yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that.
If you're looking for safes, Glimo, I would accept anything from the security area, like a card lock thing. As
Yeah,
being
just
a safe.
pay for the lock and
Okay.
consider that the rest of it's just a metal box.
Yeah, it's just a solid metal box you can't otherwise get into.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be sitting in the hot sun for 12 hours, so they teach you how to play cards nomad style, which involves a lot of cheating and drinking.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Okay.
Should we
Sounds
mark
a lot of
off
fun.
1750 each just now to cover the cost of the upgrade?
Oh, for the car, I just took it out of my personal. But yeah, so 1750. Yeah, okay.
1750 each, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We can do that.
Okay.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of. I think you probably pick up some Creole words today, and someone's grandmother prepares you a plate of food. You don't like. They put out something close to like a buffet or like a lunch service, but they don't let you choose what you get. Somebody's grandmother makes a plate for you and brings it over to you. And tries to explain to you that the potato salad that you're getting isn't like that court potato salad that you're used to. They put more than just raisins in it and mayonnaise. Yeah, and you get some delicious Creole food. I don't know if I want to let Glimo and me talk about Louisiana types here. I think we might spend too much time, but
And the rest of the episode.
yeah, the rest of the episode is just like, what do you put in your gumbo? What's your home recipe? We'll skip over that part.
Well, first you start with a mole. There's 150 ingredients.
Okay, Julia Childs. Yeah, for you, it's like a weird day of meeting a group of people you don't normally mix in with. It's not like they treat you like you're one of them. They definitely treat you like you're a client, but they're also really pushy on their hospitality.
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing my best to ingratiate myself in there, and
Okay.
I basically let them know that if they need specialist work done, I'm happy to oblige for them as
All
well.
right. They're willing to exchange phone contacts with you. They aren't going to be here for long, but they come around every season or so.
Yeah.
As the work brings them here.
So also I'll text the group and be like, hey, look, if you guys want motorcycle armor, these guys are capable of doing it. Because last time we put the motorbikes out, they got fucking shot to shit. So
True.
Well, just the tires.
Get a
The
message
most
back,
important part, yes.
you get a message back from Colton. Do they do skateboards?
Don't think they can
it's just a
up-armor
piece of
skateboards.
metal that you drive around on.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, just get a piece of armor and put wheels on it. There you
I
go, there's no
was gonna
skateboard.
say they
Yeah.
just get you some carbon fiber board or something.
And just like weld a riot shield to the front of it.
So Arthur, with the 20 extra armor, that puts it at 30. Yeah, 30 SP. Or how did
Oh,
we
I thought
break
you
it
were
down
only
then?
raising the armor to 20.
No, yeah, that's what
Oh.
I said. But you said that it was extra. You said that it was an extra 20, and I was like, okay, did I pay for extra? So if it's only 20, that's fine.
No. If you want to
Yeah.
raise it up to 30, it'll cost another 5,000 euro bucks.
What do you guys think?
And
Do you
it'll
think it's
lower the
worthwhile
vehicle
doing
speed
that?
another 10%.
What is it? Right, its speed is 60 right now, so that'll go down to what, 55?
Let me
No.
see. That doesn't sound right.
I mean, 20 will stop most small arms fire. Like up
Yeah,
to
no,
40,
that's-
not get much through. It's more. a
The
case
only
of-
thing that would get through would be like sniper rifles and shit like that. So
Yeah,
Or
but
anyone
then it's
using
not
armor
protecting it
piercing.
in. It's like going to be anti-vehicle. So if someone starts
Yeah.
firing rockets at it, whatever, I think. But
All right, so your
If
top
we-
speed
if-
is 100 miles an hour. If you put an additional, if you have 20 armor, then you'll go 90 miles an hour, and if you have 30 armor, you'll go 80 miles an hour max.
I think if people are firing anti-material weapons at our vehicle, we probably made some bad choices in our lives. We need to think about.
well,
So-
it's more like I see this Hummer as being like a safety net that we can rely on to a degree.
I mean, we
especially
can,
when it comes
we
to-
can always add more later as well.
Yeah. So all right, so it's down. We'll just take the 20 for now. Is that possible, Arthur? Is that something we can get done later, or is this one of those modifications where it doesn't?
What modification are you looking to
Can we
get?
put 10 more armor on it at another time, or do we have
Yes.
to do it all now?
No, you can do it at another time.
Okay, then that's fine. Yeah.
How much armor would we need if someone were to drop a fixed wing airplane from 30,000 feet onto it?
I don't know that there's any amount of armor that a Hummer can take that will stop a plane colliding with you.
I mean, eventually the arm will get to the point the speed drops to zero, in which case it's now a bunker, not a Hummer.
Yes, exactly.
But-
I assume we'll
okay.
eventually hear of a news report where there wasn't enough armor value on someone's house to withstand a 30,000 foot drop from a
Yeah, I
fixed
don't know. The kinetic energy on a plane from that height seems like it's going to be really high.
Arthur, is a roll cage something that we can get added in, or does the Hummer just have a roll cage?
I have no idea. First off, I don't know what a roll cage is.
It's reinforced like
Yeah, it's a metal frame inside the. So things like NASCARs have it. So the idea is, if
I know
the
what you're
car-
talking about now.
Yeah, if the car rolls over, it prevents the chassis from crumpling in. So, I mean, at the end of the
Because,
day,
you know,
like a
yeah.
Humvee is made to be able to roll over without collapsing like
Yeah.
that. Anyway, yeah.
I don't think a Hummer needs a roll cage. I think
Yeah,
it's built
roll
around
cages are
frame.
more for converting regular pedestrian vehicles into things that can roll over.
right. And the only other thing I need to ask is like when it comes to armor, does this extra armor mean that the windows have 20 SP and the tires have 20 SP, or is it just the frame?
So, I mean, when a car takes damage, you can't like aim to a specific area like what you're thinking of, right? Like I can't just be like the tires go out. What happened in that fight was the people just attacked your bikes and basically zeroed them out.
Yeah.
So there's not
okay.
like that Fallout slow down time, pick a target.
Yeah,
thing?
no, that doesn't happen. Not in
Yeah,
this.
it's
Not
not
that
once
I
you
know
hit
of.
zero SDP, the vehicle's considered disabled. Whether that is
The
the
tires
drivetrain is
out
damaged
or
or whatever,
yeah.
it's irrelevant.
It's not that crunchy of a system. Assume right now that your tires are being replaced by some sort of armored steel belted resealing whatchamacallums, and the windows are, well, they're probably heavily tinted and up armored as well. Bullet resistant rather than bulletproof.
Riveted.
So what's the-
You'll see through it a little bit, but like
Yeah. So we have an SP value of 20 now. What is the SPD on this thing now?
That's the that's the
Shouldn't
amount of
change,
hit
it's
points
the
it has,
same.
right? It doesn't
Yeah,
change.
Okay. So that was at 60 before, so that's fine.
Still 60.
So,
each point that goes over the armor subtracts from that number until it gets to 0, in which case it's the vehicle's disabled.
I see. That makes more sense now. Okay. Okay, and the max speed was 100, so now it's 90.
Now it's 90. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. MPH.
All right. At the end of the day, you're sent home with a Tupperware container full of gumbo for your wonderful husband, who they've heard about and want to meet one day if you'll bring him down here. Who else has something they want to do in the days following the airship mission? Okay, Bishop, you're jumping forward. What do you got?
So once I've finished moving myself and got myself checked in for some therapy, I wanted to go back and do some old-fashioned police work. So on the basis that the people that the remaining couple of members of this terrorist group are probably in Redline City, or probably were anyway, because that's where their airship was coming to, and their mobile homes had to be destroyed, they're probably still here. So I'm going to go out and try and investigate to see if I can track them down. So looking at things like any sort of police reports about where eco-terrorists might have, done things that was within the MO of their organization, or looking at hitting the street to try and, find out if everyone's heard of the group and where they might be. So I'm thinking like either like library search or streetwise, or that's what sort of.
All right, streetwise is going to get you. So library search is dependent on what library you read from. And publicly available data terminals are not going to get you a lot of what you need. I can just tell you right now that you have received a relevant news report. It's everywhere. That nomad groups over the last 24 hours have started charging a lot more for transport. There was apparently a massive shootout with some Roth and Shiv and some other groups west of town. There was an airstrip that was supposed to be receiving some sort of business. They didn't get it, and they were super pissed because they were really going to rely on that money. And they went out and tried to hit a Medtech transport, and in the process, an Arasaka transport and convoy got caught up in it, and there was a massive 8-way battle between different nomads, different megacorps, that turned into a pileup. And now a lot of goods were lost on the way to the city. They don't know if they're going to have enough food to survive for another 2 or 3 days in the city, and they're hoping that everything gets cleaned up. And you're pretty sure that's the fallout of stealing the Shamrock Eyes, because that was that airfield.
But a butterfly flaps its wings in the Amazon suddenly.
They sound like completely unrelated things. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
So when you say unsure about food supply, do you mean for the city in general or for the nomads in the city?
No, for the city in general. Okay. The nomads are, nomads, so they probably have enough food. It's it's a major city that doesn't have any local local farm areas to produce food for it. It's entirely reliant on food arriving via foreign transport. So, they've only got what's currently in the supermarkets, and unless more food comes in, it's going to be a rough time.
I mean, where do you farm kibble?
Well, wherever it is, it's not Redline City.
So what am I thinking then that they've probably already been killed in the crossfire, or
it's not? No, you don't get anything in that regard. Just that the situation exists. Whatever the deal was, it didn't go down the way it should have, and it caused a chain of events of upset nomads colliding with other upset nomads colliding with megacorps that caused a chain of events that led to charging €100 for transport.
Okay. So I will go back to my original plan of trying to track them down.
So you can do streetwise. If you want to try to sneak into an NCPD office, you can run a library search on their computers. If you have any Megacorp contacts or Corp contacts, you can try to plug into theirs and run a library search. You contact a fixer who has intelligence services, library search, or again streetwise if you want to just hit the streets.
Yeah, I'll start with streetwise. Streetwise.
What is the depth of knowledge you're looking for? Can you give me the focus of your knowledge and how much you want to know about it?
So first off, are the people that the last representatives of this Viva Libre still in Redline City? Where are they holding up? You know, what's next for them after the most of their organization was taken out, along with their home base.
Okay. That's probably not
fumble.
too bad. I'll put that at like a 15. What'd you get?
I fumbled.
A fumble. Okay.
There we go.
Yep, roll another d10. We need to know how bad the street feels about
Oh,
you.
no.
It's not going to be good. You're probably going to be embarrassed.
Probably it's one of those things where they know I'm looking for them.
Yep. But the real question is, does everyone on the street know that you just totally blew this?
It's a cool roll, so that's not one of the skills listed for fumbling.
That's true. I'll put it that they definitely know you're coming.
Okay.
Roll a d10.
So an extra one?
Yep,
On
yep,
top of
an
the
extra
one
one.
roll? No worries. 3.
Okay. Yep. All right, just gonna make some notes here real quick. Yeah, you put out some contacts, and some of your contacts blab a little bit, and after a few talking to people on the phone and talking to people on the street, suddenly no one wants to talk to you anymore, and when they see you coming up on your bike, people suddenly get lost.
That's a rough fumble.
I'll leave that one for now then. That's fine.
Okay. Anything else you want to do in that regard? I'm sure you'd like to
No.
track down the people that try to blow you up.
Well, that's what I was just doing.
Yes. I just want to know if you want to attack it from a different angle.
Yeah, I mean, other than so my contacts are all usually pretty much Night City contacts.
Okay. That's going
not
to be
Redline contacts.
Glimo, when I asked, you shot your hand up just after James. What do you got? What do you need to do?
So I would like to buy a couple of easy to get things.
Sure. Give me
I'd like
a
to-
list.
I'd like to buy a card lock safe. with
Sure. You can
level
do that
4.
from a store.
So that's 400 eddies.
Sure.
I'd like to buy a laptop computer for
Yep.
900 eddies.
Yep. Just straight out of a...
Straight out of the store.
Yep.
Then I would like to try to find a way to get Coltan his arm.
Okay, because it involves military equipment, it's going to be black cyberware for sure.
Yep. But that
Okay.
is my specialty.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't know if the book has something to say about the availability difficulty. I know it has
It
something to say
does.
about the surgery.
Availability is in there for sure.
Well, there won't be any surgery, I don't think, because it's just another arm that has a quick release.
Right. Surgery difficulty. Yes. I don't know that it has availability
Oh,
for
wait.
cyberware.
Yeah, no, you're right. It probably doesn't. Actually, maybe check the descriptions because sometimes
for me,
they
it's
describe-
more important to ask which Megacorp are you going to get this produced from, right? And are you getting it off the street or are you getting it directly from them? You're getting somebody to drop something from you off the back of a truck, or are you finding the person that hit the truck and taking what they've got?
Which is easier for me?
They're both pretty bad.
So the micro missile also, it's worth pointing out that the ammunition is quite expensive. It's 50
All
euro.
right, let me
bucks
put it
for
this
each
way.
one.
Dealing with the corpse, you might leave a trail, but they probably won't try to rob you if the deal goes bad. Dealing with, the kind of people who would hit a corp military transport to steal black cyberware or scav it off of a body are the kind of people who would scav it off of a body. They might just do it to you. So I'd say dealing with the corpse is the devil that you know, but they are the devil.
Well, I
Becoming Johnny Silverhand right before your eyes. Woo! Fuck the corpse! Burn everything down! Society is better when we live free and wild.
I will deal with the corpse.
Okay. Is there a particular corp that you want brand named on your boy's arm?
I don't really care, but I feel like Arasaka would be a bad idea right now. So I guess Medtech.
You guys are doing a lot of Militech, huh? Okay. All right.
I'm very surprised in Arthur's World that there's not a fake Megacorp called Edge Runner, which sells like all this shit to like edge runners.
There's a nomad
Like,
Megacorp called Metacorp that that
There's an entire middleman like affiliate marketing black cyberware company that's like billions and billions of dollars.
all right, so Drumurboy, I just want to make you aware. Your 2-shot capacitor laser has a range of 10 meters.
I know.
Right? Okay. And your missile launcher is €50 a pop every time you fire it.
Yep, I know.
All right, cool. Just checking. Because, you can't exactly buy the micro missiles out of a fucking catalog. So just want to make sure you know that stuff.
okay.
Well, I can still like buy them, but it's just more expensive.
So I'm going to make the difficulty a little bit harder than normal for this, Glimo, because you are a known associate of Arasaka.
I'm still over 30K eddies right now, so I don't really care
So I'm
about
going to
prices.
put this at 18 to get in contact with somebody who's willing to let something out of the warehouse for you.
Oh, and James wants me to look at getting a Medtech cyborg rifle.
A what?
Can I do these two things together, or do I have to do them separately?
Why not? Let's
How-
bump the difficulty to 20. I don't know what a Medtech cyborg rifle is, but it's
How
probably
many air
like
miles will we get for
60
this?
10.
How
No,
much
it's
do we
a-
have to spend with them to get a membership card or some shit?
It's a 300 Winchester Magnum hunting rifle converted for shooting full Borgs.
Yeah, that sounds about right. All it takes to join Medtech is one soul.
I mean,
It's got a
Well, we're all out
rocket
of
powered
those,
drill.
so we're bummed.
they don't have a fucking loyalty program or something?
Yeah, it's called Join Us for Life.
Bullshit.
Is it? It's in Morgan Blackhand somewhere. Is it in the sniper rifle section?
What the
The
Borg
Medtech
rifle?
Borg rifle. Yeah.
It's under rifles.
Oh, I
It's,
see it.
it's-
It's in other rifles. Medtech cyborg
Yeah.
rifle. 76 plus 3, 300 mag. Okay. Full pup, 300 Winchester Magnum. All right. I mean, that's going to be a really big cartridge.
So it's a 15-pound gun.
Yeah. 7.5 kilograms, 500 meter range. Not bad. Not bad. The gun right above it is the space gun. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and Smart Link too, by the way, so double the cost.
Okay. Yes, that's gonna be significant. All right. So it's difficulty 20 to find a like vendor who can get you this stuff somewhat legally, grayly speaking.
All right, I'm gonna put 2 luck into it.
Okay.
That down. $24.
Okay. All right. Let me think.
There's
So
some fucking guy sitting in a warehouse being like, I'll never sell these 3 exact things. Ever. No one's ever gonna want these things. Pascal rings up.
you put out
And then he puts you on hold for 5 minutes, being like,
the word on the street that you're looking for some stuff, and you get information back from your contacts, Pascal. You were looking into your landlord. Do you remember that?
Yes, I was. That was the other thing I wanted to do, was to call Rom. And now that
Ram
I've got the-
Kosov? Yeah, so he calls you first.
Great.
While you're putting out the word, Ram calls you back and tells you to check a data file that he's left for you on the net. That's too big to send over the phone.
I do.
You're
that.
like, I don't have a net connection.
Oh, no, I do. I have a laptop now.
Do you have an electrode to connect to it?
I've got data plug terms in my wrist.
I don't know if that lets you go on the net. It definitely allows you to download data off of the.
Well, I also have the Elysia deck that I stole from the terrorist.
Yep, that's true, and it has 8 electrode ports or something off of it. So yeah, you could use that to connect to the net. Yeah, so he's leaving you a package on the net, and he tells you Look, okay, this guy, there's not a lot of information about him, all right? Watch your back with him.
Put on one of those electrode pads, you hear a tiny click. Fuck!
You know that prank that people play on really drunk people where they put like cups all around them for like the entire space of the room?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just imagine like these guys are going to be pranking fucking Bishop forever with just landmines. He's just like,
He goes to pick up his cat. His cat is a landmine.
damn it.
No, he could never stop petting it.
He goes to take out his garbage can and he lifts it up and like you hear a click. You're like, God damn it.
Thank you, Rom. Is the 1,000 eddies good for you?
I'll get back to you. Favor for a favor.
That works too.
All right, he closes the thing. You get word through your network that Blaze Laser has been found dead. Some people say it was an assassination by the police. Others say he went cyber psycho. That's the official story. Others say that he was really weird in his last 24 hours and claimed to have uploaded his mind to the net and will now rule it as the ultimate kill code.
Oh no, not Ass Blaster.
His name was Blaze Laser. Are you writing that down?
I am.
Yeah, I didn't want to go ahead until you were ready.
Before he died, he said he uploaded his consciousness to the net and is running it. Okay. What's in the file that Rom sent me?
Oh, are you connecting via the Elysia to
Yes.
the file? Okay. You don't really know why he sent this file in particular, because a lot of it could have just been told to you over the phone. Maybe it's dramatic. Do you remember the name of this guy?
I was never given a name.
Okay, because that is not anything he's told you or anything that this guy has told you. He's got a lot of false identities.
Okay.
His real name is not particularly known. They mostly call him the Metal Man, which is his like netrunner name. He dropped out of nowhere about 10 years ago. He was a netrunner that kind of turned into a fixer for a while and then dropped off the grid until about last year. Pretty heavy hitter. He would do a lot of spider work of finding like corporations that were running a defensive network, and then his team would get him inside the building and he would like mind jack and kill that person in cyberspace, running daemons on him. So he was essentially like an anti-netrunner assassin. He'd been screwing around a lot, had a lot of people looking for him, a lot of rumors of kids following him, a lot of rumors of affairs, and it all just ended one day, and he dropped off the grid about 2 years ago and came back 1 year ago. And he briefly resurfaces, and a couple of months ago he just bought the building that you live in and now appears to be running a foster home for like orphaned edge runner mercenaries that he brings in and essentially protects them on the premises.
Interesting.
Like are we talking like injured people or like
No, he seems to pick and choose his clientele with great care. Not physically injured or anything, but people like Pascal, who when their house was, compromised, they suddenly found themselves with a special offer.
It kind of sounds like this guy likes to collect favors and he's going to call them in when you least expect them.
You also heard that Pascal likes favors.
How many favors are owed to you and how many favors do you owe? I've lost count.
The last thing that happens before we get to your role is that the street has news that your pal Bishop's been stomping around looking for information about Viva Libre, and that Viva Libre has a street hit out on him with a bounty for 5,000 eddies, payable from either Scarlet Vermilion or Norway Pepperoni.
There's an extra 500 eddies in it if you use a landmine.
You get word from the network that several people have taken that contract already, and one person tried to claim it last night without evidence.
Scarlet Vermilion or Pepperoni Eddie?
Nope, Norway Pepperoni.
Norway Pepperoni.
Bishop's gonna be like coming back to his apartment with like 2 arms full of groceries and like try to bum the door open and hear a click.
And I also like the idea that around Bishop there's going to be a bunch of like assassins fighting each other that he's not aware of. You know what I mean? Like in some
He's
weird
in the
slice of
7-Eleven
life
getting a
anime.
Slurpee. There's 2 guys strangling each other in the bathroom.
Total solipsism. Completely unaware of it.
Bishop has been sitting in his desk for 3 weeks because someone clicked a pen as he sat down.
Dante hasn't been into the office. No one ever comes in to do paperwork.
Did anyone here ever watch or read The Tick?
Yes.
Yeah, because there was a villain that was the mad midnight bomber what bombs at midnight. That's what I'm thinking of this assassin is like with the mines.
So not only do you have an entire family of assassins after you, but now you have an entire gang registry after you as well. And you just go about your day like there's no problems. I like this.
The trick is to make it so that the cost of coming after me is completely outweighs any potential benefit. So
the only bullet that can kill this man costs 5,001 Eurobucks.
And he sells it.
At that point, you get a call back from a man named Jonathan Sampson, who is a Medtech, like second tier vendor. You know, like he works for a company that works for Medtech.
Okay.
He indicates that he would love for you to come to New Redline City on the upper deck and come to his offices where he can provide you with very legal opportunities to purchase the hardware you're looking for a man with your qualifications and reputation.
Very good. What time works for you?
His secretary lets you know that any time is a good time for someone with your pedigree.
AKA he's middle management and doesn't have a lot of meetings. and he needs to fill out his calendar. Or else
Yeah,
his
he needs
boss
to
will
get
get
his quota,
suspicious.
right? You got to get the sales in.
Okay.
Aggressive outsourcing. That's the key.
He's also all out of mines for some reason.
He recently sold them to a bunch of eco-terrorists.
That's the thing about eco-terrorists. You know, you leave one of them alive to send a message, but they just never leave you alone.
Very well. I will be along shortly. And at that point, Pascal calls Bishop.
Okay.
Bishop, good news, bad news.
yes,
Good news. I think I've got a line on your rifle. I've got a meeting set this afternoon with someone who's a Medtech second tier vendor. I'd love you to come with me if you're not doing anything.
of course. What's the bad news?
Viva Libre's put a hit out on you. 5,000 eddies. Someone tried to claim it last night without evidence.
Who's brokering the deal?
Scarlet Vermilion or Norway Pepperoni?
Can you get me in front of one of those? Preferably the first one.
Do I know either one of these, Arthur?
They're the
Or
last 2 members of
nothing
Viva
else?
Libre left alive.
Oh, so I thought they were the fixers that were in.
No,
okay, so-
no.
Oh,
They're
okay.
offering the contracts direct from themselves.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. If you, I hit a bust trying to. I think I rattled the wrong cages. So I don't know if you've got contacts that you can try and put me in the right place. Thankfully, this whole good news, bad news is that the good news can help solve the bad news problem.
Very well. Let's go go take care of the hardware first, and then I'll make some inquiries after that.
Where do I meet you?
We're going to the upper deck, so either, I don't know which one of us is closer there. Probably you, since you're in corporate zone.
Yeah, he's already on the upper deck.
Okay. I'll meet you at your new place.
All right.
Okay, so he's already inside Medtech secure area because he's now a resident of Medtech area. When you arrive on the upper deck, Pascal, and you drive over to the Medtech district, like, there are barricades up to prevent people from going in and out easily, and there are police officers in Medtech Corps, cops, like, stopping people, briefly asking their business, checking what they have. Do you have any automatic weapons on you, or illegal cyberware, or a large amount of loose eddies?
Oh, that was the other thing. I was going to turn put half my eddies in my bank account, the other half.
Oh, you're accessing your bank account. Okay, thank you for telling me that. How much are you putting in your bank account?
How much do I have on me?
Folks on you, there's a mine in your bank account.
Like 10 grand.
Okay, you're putting
You
10
hear
grand
this
in.
clicking sound when you put in your PIN number.
I just want to remind you, you've previously had some problems with your bank account.
You hit log in. and you
Yeah,
hit,
that's,
like,
Yeah,
I-
it's fine. There should be no problem. You have a new banking card. There's
Right.
no issues at all.
I put 10 grand in the bank and another 10 in my new safe, and then I'm carrying 6 with me just to.
6,000 eddies?
Okay, no, that's too much.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
okay.
that's the kind of money where a cop stops you and is like, well, I need to take your money as evidence because you're obviously going to buy drugs with this money.
All right.
Why
no.
are you
No, sir,
carrying
I'm-
$6,000 in a duffel bag?
I'm going to illegally reinforce my illegally obtained Hummer. Okay, that's what I'm doing with the money.
Okay.
Your Hummer is legally obtained.
Okay,
legally
so I got
obtained,
like $500
illegally
walking around
registered.
money with me.
$500.
yeah,
Okay.
If Pascal's going to meet up for the weapon for
Yeah,
Colton's
for
weapon as
a
well,
deal.
like,
Yeah.
I've already wired him the 5,100
Okay.
for my purchase.
Back in the late 90s, I once took a payment from a customer for $24,000 cash in $100 bills, and my boss is like, "Sorry, okay, take that straight to the bank and deposit in the bank." So I folded this wad of cash over to a U shape and stuck it in my pocket, and of
Oh
course,
my
halfway to
God.
the bank, it all burst out. So I had to furiously rushed around. I managed to get it all though, but yeah, it wasn't a pleasant experience.
So what you're saying is you got paid 24,000 in cash, folded it into a U, and heard a gentle click.
Do you have any automatic weapons on you?
Are auto pistols illegal to carry?
They're not
go around?
automatic.
Okay.
Perfectly legal.
Then no. I
All
have
right.
the only thing I've got my auto pistol, my new auto pistol with me, but that's it.
So let me be clear. These cops are fast and efficient, right? Like, they want people to continue moving in and out at a good speed. They interrogate people. If anyone holds them up for any reason, they just physically rip the door of their cars off and pull everybody out and take them to a secondary holding site to interrogate them and, like, get a Borg to come along and physically move the car. So it's not like you're waiting an hour. Like, 5 minutes later, you're up. You're on your motorcycle?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, like an officer walks over. There's another one that moves to, like, your flank and has his hand, like, has a rifle ready to shoot you if you try anything weird. And the one that's in front of you just goes, "What's your business in the Medtech district? We've raised the threat level to orange."
Meeting with Jonathan Sampson.
Okay. He seems to be an authorized vendor. You're on the list. All right. Check out.
Thank you, sir.
Right. They lower the barricade and let you go in.
You know what? Motorcycles are pretty base because the Medtech police can't rip the doors off a motorcycle.
No, they just rip you off the motorcycle.
Yeah, but you don't
It's
have
a
to
lot
repair the
easier than
motorcycle,
ripping the
right?
door off.
They go to rip you off the motorcycle and they hear a click, and then you go, ha!
I was
I love
actually
it.
the landmine.
I love the idea that Bishop has two reoccurring nightmares. The first one is where he shoots himself in the face over and over again. And the second one is where he rolls over in bed and he hears a click.
They start to meld together after a weird melatonin pill, and like he shoots, and the gun hits his forehead, and he hears a click.
I was
My
a gun all
forehead
along.
My face was a landmine.
She went to my
at all
daughter's
times.
wedding.
That sounds like
Can't
an
be a gun.
amazing. That sounds like an amazing B horror movie in Cyberpunk. My face was.
I watched it
landmine.
after you guys suggested that. That was a great video too.
Oh, Wizard Cops. There are
Yeah.
several more videos set in that timeline that are pretty good.
Yeah, they're all like around Freddie W. and
Corridor
Visual.
Digital. Yeah. Okay, Bishop, you have none of that nonsense. Like you're not exactly a citizen, but you're a resident, so you
Hey,
were
the only
already
automatic weapons I have,
inside
Militech
city
anyway.
limits for Militech before that went up. You easily make it to the meeting at this Militech authorized vendor. Probably has some sort of name like Unlimited Arms. Freedom manufacturing freedom across the world.
Disclaimer, not exactly unlimited.
Freedom at 600 rounds a minute.
30 euro bucks a bullet.
This gun. I loved Heavy Weapons Guy. That was my go-to.
God damn it. TF2 was just like
It was pretty well balanced, even when it was shit.
it was like the perfect game of 2008. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like when you think of 2008, you think of Left 4 Dead and you think of Team Fortress 2. Or maybe not the 2013 was Left 4 Dead, but you know.
The two of you find yourself standing in front of the kind of building you might see anywhere in the military arms industry. It doesn't seem to have a lot of like openly cyberware stuff, but when you enter and hear the jingly bell, you can see that there are a discreet, tasteful cyberware selections. And in the parts where it would be like, do you love giant lasers? Speak to our vendor over the counter whether you qualify to own premium military technology. The person behind the counter says, "Ha ha ha! Gentlemen, I've seen your pictures. You must be Marcus Bishop and Pascal Jaden. I'm Jonathan Sampson." And he walks over and, you know, he's got diamond cufflinks, nice suit, like not like, you know, like super nice, but like a nice dark suit and a meaty hand that basically envelops Pascal's and tries to crush his hand in the process of a good handshake. And
How old do I think this guy is?
well, look, the way cyberware works, right? He could be, you know, 80, but he looks 35, 40.
Okay. That's all I need for my
He's
little
got that all-American hazel eyes, wavy brown hair, the kind of smile you can only get with dentistry work. Discreet back of the neck, interface plug port kind of deal. He doesn't openly have any other cyberware than that, but maybe his eyes might be cyberware. You know, sometimes it's just hard to tell these kind of things.
This is kind of what Pascal does.
All right, you can make a roll. Make a
Cybertech?
yeah.
There it is. Nope.
Nope. Make another D10. Because this is an int roll, I believe. Okay. You're like looking him in his eyes, trying to figure out whether or not they're cybernetic, and Bishop notices you doing it, right? Like someone on the street looking into the building knows that you're basically trying to size this guy up, and he stops shaking your hand and lightly coughs, and he gives you a look over, Bishop, and offers you a hand as well. Maybe a little differently than Pascal, more respectful.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand.
Okay. Gentlemen, what can Militech do for you that you can't do from yourself with your God-given rights as Americans?
We're looking for a couple of pieces of equipment.
I understood your query, and such equipment is available locally, artisanally sourced. And you meet several of our preconditions to walk away with one of these bad boys today.
Anything we're short on?
Well, we like to do a client interview just to make sure that you won't get up to any trouble beyond your Second Amendment right to defend yourself.
Sounds fair.
Let's take you up to my office. You like champagne?
Been known to dabble, but business first.
Okay, business first. So he walks you through a nice gun store. And by nice, I don't mean, wow, there's a lot of guns here. More like, wow, there's a lot of Medtech guns here. And they're selling all the premium skins and, you know, additional quality options. It's a corporate store for sure.
Real life microtransactions.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right? Like,
You want all the cool shit?
Yeah,
Here you go.
it's like the Apple Store of guns.
yes, exactly.
Yep.
This isn't the kind of place where you're like, man, I really need a gun. When you go here, you're like, what I really need is this gun with these options. And they go, okay, we've got all that here.
Do they have the Militech wizards there that will help you clean your gun and stuff like that?
I don't think they call them wizards. They
Is it
probably
geniuses they call it at Apple?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but they'd call it some marine term, right? They wouldn't want to sound geeky. They'd want it to sound
No, they'd call them the
American.
quartermasters. Oh my god.
They would. They'd probably. What can our quartermasters do for you? What can
Oh,
our
looks like-
armorers do for you?
Yeah.
Looks like you got your super fancy gun water damage. That's gonna be $6,000.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
we
we
can't
have-
work
we have
on
a-
this.
we
This
have
is
a venting.
Arasaka technology. They still use wooden stocks. Classic.
You see these little stickers?
Please don't load the
They
gun
turn
points.
color. They turn color when they've been water damaged.
Second floor. Looks like several sub offices. Obviously, Jonathan Samson's is the nicest. He has two cases that very obviously seem to be, you know, the extremely long 300 Winchester cyborg hunting rifle, and what's probably a, you know, arm sized with styrofoam holding it in place case.
I like to point out it's a bullpup, so not that long.
Okay, I'll buy that. I mean, bullpup doesn't mean it's not long. It just means that it's less long than it could be, right?
Oh, just means the barrel's longer than it would be in a gun that short.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long it's going. I imagine it as being a super massive. It's 15 pounds, man. Like,
Yeah,
that barrel has to be
I'm thinking, like,
considerable.
I'm imagining like the AA-12. The AA-12 is about that sort of weight.
All right, I don't know what that is.
That's
So
not a
let me take
bullpup.
a
That's
look.
the automatic shotgun. The auto assault shotgun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, with the cylindrical 12
Oh,
gauge.
well, the ammunition is what takes up most of the weight in that, right? Like the gun
yeah,
itself.
but this is 30 rounds of 300 Magnum.
Oh, all right, yeah, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's not that long. My apologies, gun geeks. There is a giant magazine case next to it, though. You're
We
like,
call
wow,
them-
that has to weigh at least 7.5 pounds.
Can we call them gun weebs? Because
Gun weebs, gun otaku. Gun otaku actually already is an official term.
Oh.
There are entire manga that are based off of gun otaku culture. Yeah, so he just sits down and has some paperwork for you to fill out, and just cuts to the chase and says, gentlemen, you're mercenaries. Militech likes to work with mercenaries. We like to keep people like you for operations we can't officially be a part of, but the kind of equipment you're asking for is restricted. If you're found dead in an alleyway shooting up some police with it, it's a serious problem for us. I think you can understand I'm being frank here. I'm just asking for you to be frank here with me as well. You know, you're not being recorded. I'm not going to use this against you at any point. I just need some assurances from you that your lifestyle will be in line with the American way.
If you need further information, I refer you to the very public situation recently where I turned in the bodies of several eco-terrorists that were wanted in multiple US states.
That did a lot to help fast pass your application.
We only shoot the bad people. In self-defense, of course.
Of course, yes. You know, bad people is a term we like to use at Medtech. Self-defense is as well. So you can give me your assurances that these won't be used on Medtech personnel, on police officers, and only in situations which the courts could reasonably provide self-defense for.
Absolutely.
Okay. I assume you guys know how much these cost already, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's not Jonathan asking, that's me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 1600 for the smart link version of the gun. So.
Yes. All right. So he's willing to charge you all of that plus 10% for his, like fixer fee going
Brokerage.
on here. He'll provide all the documentation and paperwork to prove that you legally own it and are like licensed, right? Like if you need to go get this gun fixed, you could take it to a Medtech store and they won't be like, well, you obviously stole this.
Yep. Sounds good.
The warranty, the arm, as long as it isn't in like a gunfight. Like if your arm gets or hurt over the next year in like regular usage, you'll be able to bring it in and they'll help repair it. But not like, oh, I was in a gunfight and someone shot me multiple times with armor piercing rounds. They're going to be like, no, that's not in your warranty. Probably it's called like drivetrain coverage or something. Yeah, he fills it all out. The cost isn't, it's not cheap, but it's not too bad. And it only takes like an hour.
Great.
Well, gentlemen, let me give you this complimentary American flag, Medtech patches, Medtech bumper sticker. I love Medtech coffee cups for both of you. And, of course, our Unlimited Arms hoodies, which go free with every purchase.
Nice of them.
Why, thank you.
Mr. Jaden, glad to do business with you. And I hope that prospective mercenaries like yourself will keep your cell phone available when someone like me calls you. We may want to do further business with you down the line that may involve the usage of those self-defense weapons.
We've been known to take the occasional side job. We'd certainly be happy to talk about future business and whether that's on a cash or barter system.
We prefer cash.
Very well.
So nice meeting both of you. I hope that you are thrilled with your purchases. And remember, unlimited arms means unlimited capability.
It's like what's like the firearm equivalent of happy motoring?
He gives you a ammo magazine box with your actual cartridge in it, and the side of it says "Manufacturing Freedom, Unlimited Arms."
Nice.
I just kind of find it funny that they said, is unlimited arms on my arm case? Because I would love that. That'd be so funny.
Did anyone have anything else? Coltan?
I might. Is there a way to like covert library search? Is there like stealthily search things?
So library search is dependent on what body of knowledge you use, right? Like if you can plug into a public terminal on the street, but you're only going to get what people have publicly available. You could like buy a library at like a Megacorp place or like an independent intelligence agency. A fixer might be able to get you hooked up. You would also use library search if you like went up on somebody's computer and like plugged into it and were like, all right, well, what's inside? Looking for their hentai folder.
Just look for the one with cleavage.
Got him.
What if that's not the type of hentai they're into?
Look for the one with a bulge. I don't know.
Chickens with ties.
No,
on
we're
them.
good. I don't need any further information. I'm good.
I'm just looking for like one that would like historical shipping manifests, I guess.
Ooh,
Like,
okay. Well, there are several megacorps that deal with that kind of thing.
I'm trying to maybe lock down some information on the dude who killed my parents.
Okay, well, historical shipping, especially if it's nomads, you could go to the nomad-specific Megacorp, which is run by a guy named Jonathan Meta, I think. He's a South American war veteran who basically was like, well, they left us down here to die. I guess we're going to take all of their nice military equipment and form a giant floating navy of nomads.
Sure.
There is also...
Well, since he's nomad and they kind of don't like these, whatever you called them, like kind
Raf
of
and Shiv, yeah.
Raf and Shiv people.
There's WorldSat Communications Network. Orbital Air would also cover that kind of stuff.
I'll probably go with the nomads since
All right.
I recently found out that I'm apparently a nomad.
Okay. So Megacorp is not like they're a megacorp in the same sense that like Dante is a megacorp. They're
Right.
only in their own minds. Like they might operate worldwide, but they don't have the kind of power to throw around. They do have offices and they're in the port. And if you schedule a meeting with them, they basically like ask you, what's your business and why do you want to access our libraries? You know, like just like over the phone.
Yeah. I found out recently that I have some nomad heritage and I'd like to learn more. You know, family's important.
Okay. Listen. They did, like the person on the phone says, one family first. And then they basically tell you, come down, we'll do a DNA, see if you match anything on the records, and we'll talk further.
Great.
Okay. You head down there immediately?
Yeah, I guess.
All right,
Like
you
I don't have anything else to do.
You basically go through the same procedure you did before at the port, right? But this time, since you're going legally, you have to like park outside the port, catch a bus that brings you in, and it takes you to one of the docks where Megacorp has a port facility, essentially. You could see that there are a lot of like water nomads out, Thelis Nation, and several other represented groups here. A lot of tattoos, a lot of people doing the Vin Diesel thing, leaning against nice cars, nice boats. The word family comes up a lot. When you enter the facility, it is a shock. You go from essentially a gangster port to immediately walking into a real live corporation. Somebody recognizes you and pulls you aside and essentially has you submit to a DNA test. And 2 hours later, you are at a desk with the local manager. Her name is Ariana Reeves, and she says, "It would seem that you are indeed a air nomad, Mr. Bones. Can I call you Coltan?
Yes.
You said you were looking for records of shipping. Did you want to know what specific historical years? I'm guessing it's probably the year 2000 or 2001.
Well, in the story, like this guy, that's like he would basically transfer like low key for corpse.
Yes.
Did he say when that time range was, or like he's
All the
still
time.
doing that
He's
now?
still doing it now.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, 20 years, but from now till 20 years ago.
I see. So you're not looking for information about your parents, your family's business. Are you looking for...
Oh, it's family business. I would call it that.
I see. And which clans are you interested in learning what you had business with?
I don't know if we knew his clan.
His clan is Raf and Shiv.
Yeah. Well,
All right. Yeah. So she's... That's basically like saying certain racial slurs in front of her, right? Like she goes pale and goes, I understand. Raf and Shiv. Is there a particular member, or you're just looking for any Raf and Shiv activity historically? There's going to be a lot of entries for that.
Maybe narrow it down to the ones who take low-key jobs for corpse. Are there a lot of those?
That does narrow it down some. Okay.
Ones who are in a specific age range.
What is the age range you're looking for?
Well, if my parents, I would assume like this guy was, how old is Primo?
Primo of the Western Gale? Primo is in his 40s.
I would assume that age
Like
range
30s.
then.
Okay.
Like
All right.
30s, 40s.
All right. So
Actually,
like,
it'd be like 30s, 40s, probably upper 40s because I was 1 and I'm now 21.
right.
I'm assuming they would be more than a teenager to pull off a job like this. To pull off like going into a thing and just basically killing everybody.
Okay. So she has you plug into what are essentially thousands of records, right? Because there's Raf and Shiv all over the world. The intelligence is sorted by its, level of cooperation. Right, because sometimes it's just a news report saying it. Other times it's going to be a report that's like a first-hand account. Others are going to be like, oh yeah, 5 years ago this happened to us, right? Because nomads are not one giant interconnected family. They're pretty independent from each other. And Megacorp is trying to keep it together. So why don't you make your library search and we'll see what you get. You're going to need a 15 minimum.
Throw all my luck at it. 20.
Okay, that's really good. So you get a lot of information. I'm guessing you probably want to know about Arkady in particular.
Yeah, if he's like mentioned by name.
Yeah, often. Especially because you're looking for people who take jobs for corpse. So he was, right up until the time of your parents' death, was considered like a rising star. And he would work fairly often for Arasaka. Around that time, he drops off the radar, and now he works for another like subgroup of the Raf and Shib, and he's no longer like a high-ranking captain. He's more like a sergeant in their group. But he still takes jobs from, like his boss gives him the jobs, right? And he's basically just known for extreme lethality and upfront violence. Nowadays they've kind of moved out the kind of jobs that they're not the kind of jobs, but who they take it from. They have started taking a lot of jobs from Trauma Team International in regards to, how should I put this politely? No, well, the unpolite version is organ recovery.
Oh,
they find somebody who doesn't pay their bills and essentially remove their internal organs to return to Trauma Team. Yep, they're repo men, but on like a larger scale. Like they'll find like a bus full of people. They'll wait until they can get a group of people together in one area and then like hit them all at the same time.
So they're like repo ice.
Yes, they are like repo ice contractors. They're repo ice Blackwater. They're the worst of every part.
Yep. So the question is whether I want to go short game or long game on this guy.
I'm now calling them organ repo Blackwater in our notes.
Nice. Well, at least that's a pretty more. That's
so their official sub brand is Red Lotus, is the name of their Raf and Shiv family.
Okay, that's at least like narrowing it down a bunch.
Yep. But just to be clear, you get like hundreds of times more data than you wanted out of this because you gave a pretty broad age range and what you're looking for, right? Like your mind is filled with way more information than you can hold for a long period of time. When you unplug, Ariana is like, hopefully that was helpful to you. I've included the charge here for your bill.
Yeah, what was the guy's name again?
Arkady Kobachier.
That is not what I heard the first time.
What? Arkady Kobachier. Member of the Red Lotus?
I heard Arkady, but I heard Courvoisier instead.
No, it's Kobachier.
I butchered the spelling of his name, but
that's fine. Arkady's fine. You're probably not gonna run up to him and be like, Kobachier! You're probably just gonna be like, Arkady! That's really easy to
Gonna pull a friggin' Akira.
Tetsuo!
Come on!
She's charging you €100 for this information gathering session.
Oh, cool. If there's tipping, then I'll tip.
Okay, there is. It's America.
All right. I'll
They love tipping.
tip the traditional 30%. Is that standard?
No, 30%. Canadians are so nice. No, 20 if you're lucky, 15 if you're a regular person, 10 if I don't know.
All
You
right,
hate people.
an extra $20 then.
Okay. She nods.
I
and
don't know,
says,
man. I fucking tip. It's not like percentage of the bill. It's like, well, if it's above a certain threshold, I go like 5, 10, 15 if I have the extra.
Trust me, American tipping culture is different than most of the rest of the world.
I bet.
Yep.
Confirm. Can confirm.
Yep. Try tipping taxi drivers in Australia. That worked out weird. Yeah, so you didn't ask for it, but in your data dump, in your mind, she's included the list of several people who are your second cousins, contacts for West Coast, specifically Night City Air Nation nomads. They aren't really, again, they're so small now, there's less than 1,000 of them left. They aren't considered a full nation. They're considered like a clan, but they still call themselves a nation. And people from other nomad nations that share blood with you, even if they aren't Air Nation.
Cool. Might need a small clan if we're gonna.
Drumurboy's like, all right, let me redo my character sheet. I'm a nomad now.
This is fucking Hobbs and Shaw now.
Hey, yeah. Bishop can be your The Rock.
Yeah. Where's all the guns? Oh man.
All of you get a text message around this time from Dante Fierro indicating that he hasn't seen you in the office for a few days and it's time for business.
What up, bitches? It's me, D-Dog.
I love how literally no one calls him Dante Fierro. Everyone's like Dan or D-Dog.
I call him Mr. Fiero.
That's a wise move. You could call him Emps or the Emperor or the Palpatine of New Jersey. Any of those work well for him.
God, now all I'm thinking about is go for Papa Palpatine. Like,
You remember Virgil's character Palpatunes?
I remember we were gonna do the baby Palpatine episode where everyone was like children clones of Palpatine in a Rugrats episode. Oh my god, holy fuck.
Dang.
So good. Star Wars is great.
Dante Fierro is probably DTF in my phone or something.
You die and someone picks up your phone and they're like, well, I'm gonna call this girl.
Yeah.
You've reached the Emperor of South America. Immediately hang up.
This is a booty call. Come to the 55th floor. I have something to show you.
Yeah. You won't believe how long it is. The drop, I mean.
I mean, do you respond and head into the office?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, because I didn't hear any of that. All I heard was memes.
I thought this was the fade to black moment. I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah, I
that's
thought so
fine.
too.
That's a pretty good fade to black for the night, actually.
This is the picture-in-picture writer's room where we're all just like shit posting about, about the episode.
So I think the end of the episode is the four of you arriving, and you see a secretary at your desk that looks kind of like that cyber psycho you snatch off of the ports, but he is in a cyber wheelchair that now takes up his lower body, like his legs. His cyber legs were removed, and he's now plugged into the chair.
He's
He
fucking
doesn't.
Darth Maul.
I don't know that Darth Maul had a wheelchair, but okay.
He had the spider leg stuff.
Have
I
you seen the people in wheelchairs in Cyberpunk 2077?
nope.
There are some wheelchair bound pedestrians. If you punch them, they get up and run away.
What? What?
Yeah, they do. They start right away if you punch them.
Well, he's got a cyber wheelchair behind his desk. He has like a really basic. It's not even like a cyber arm. It's like an actual prosthetic arm that replaces his former cyber arm. And he doesn't seem to.
That I kicked in the face, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't seem to recognize any of you and says, "Welcome. I am the new secretary, Mr. Alphonse Gore. I'll be here if you need anything."
I'll say his name before he does. I'm like, Alphonse.
I see Mr. Fierro told you I'd be working with you, gentlemen.
Oh, you don't remember me. We had a conversation about, what did we have a conversation about?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Fierro told me that he found me in an ice tub, and well, I'm afraid all of my memory was wiped. I'm very grateful to him and the people who must have saved me. Were you involved with recovering me from the horrible scabs?
You could say that.
Yes.
Well, thank
the
you.
scabs were horrible.
It's a pleasure to work with you, gentlemen. I'll be here if you need anything, and I seem to have some memory of public education and collegiate knowledge, so if you require any tutoring, I can help you with that.
Was it like some ethics or humanitarian debate that we were talking about when I distracted him?
Yes.
I'll just mention, like, we should catch up on that book you were telling me about. Humanitarian something.
Yes, I can recommend that book to you. I
would have liked if you triggered him like into like combat mode.
Well, again, he doesn't have any combat cyberware left.
We all hear a faint click. Shit.
Wow.
No one will ever wax poetic with this dude. Yeah, that's a pretty safe trigger word. We'll put that in.
Yeah. Blueberry pie.
All right. Everybody gets 5 floating IP. Nice. Unfortunately, I don't think Wolfgang made any rules this time around. So here are your XPs.
Yeah, I don't think I made any rolls. That's so good.
Great. Now I can put this Santa hat away till next year.
Library search, my dude.
Oh, I'm sorry. Take 3 on library search. Cool. You know I always miss some, especially in the second half.
Yeah, I've got them listed in my notes, and I put an asterisk along the ones.
That's a good call.
Yep.
Arthur, here's what you do: spin the wheel behind you that I've just put there, and I'll take a 1 IP in a random.
I have a camera I can see behind me. You know.
I also had my failed motorcycle roll.
Oh right, give yourself 1 XP for that.
Perfect, thank you.
It was perfect, wasn't it?
You should start removing XP from people who.
No, I just love the idea of Bishop waiting tentatively for someone to show up an extra 50 minutes later, sitting on a mine.
Well, I think that's Streetwise.
There was a moment in time when he
Streetwise. Sorry, that's right.
No, yours is up top. Yours is actual Streetwise. Yeah. Pascal is a street deal.
Oh, I'm sorry, boys.
I'm just waiting for the time where Pascal then rolls a fumble and like the D10 is the number of favors he owes.
Oh, I think when you guys drove up, you see the new over-armored Hummer waiting in the parking lot area.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, because you would have arrived in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Henley, let's start with your outro.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you all have a safe and festive break.
Are you saying they should have themselves a very Merry Christmas?
Yes.
And or a Happy New Year.
Feliz Navidad, motherfuckers. But yeah, go buy my game. It's released now, out of early access on full release on Steam. It's called Pieces of My Heart. You can get it right now for 15% off. If you head on over to itch.io, I'm in a bundle with 18 other game developers for $30. You can get a shitload of adult games, which is really cool. I think right now we've sold 4,000 copies of that bundle, so it's not bad. It's doing pretty good. And That's pretty much it. Oh yeah. Join my Discord because we just passed like 800 members now, so we're getting pretty large on the Discord channel. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Drumurboy, we did your backstory reveal today. That was a big deal for me because I've been working on it for like 2 months.
Yeah, that was
Hopefully
cool.
it works for you.
Yeah, that was cool. Like I was kind of thinking about it too, because like Colton doesn't really have a family now. Nomad is like he's gonna kind of reclaim a family, I guess. Which is
Well, you know how it is when you're Vin Diesel. Family is everything, except when it's not.
Yep.
So we've had okay. So let me run down the backstories we've had so far. Backstory number 1 was The Godfather. Backstory number 2 was
Fast and Furious.
No. Colton Bones going to ancestry.com and being like, oh.
Please spit in this cyber cup and then wire this thing into your head.
The next backstory will likely be James's character and him being like, all right.
No, we
you
already
have to
did
kill
that. We did James's
you have to
backstory
kill
with the
the-
sister.
The 12 assassins.
6 assassins.
You have to kill 24 assassins.
The assassins subcontract out to other assassins.
And 11 evil X's.
Yeah.
That's it.
And yeah, now that I think about it, I really wish there are aspects of Mash Nathers that I wish was still around, because he had that whole pissed off the entire European Space Agency.
Don't worry, that'll come back. It'll all come back. I got Mash Nathers in my back pocket. You remember when Mash Nathers got kicked in the balls by Johnny Silverhand? That's how important he is. He's interacting with second-tier musicians who never played a live rock concert anywhere notable. That's how you know he's a top-tier reporter.
Nope.
Aren't you Johnny Silverhand from McDonald's? You played a rock show in the McDonald's parking lot.
I hate how that's Johnny's backstory in 2077, though, that he was always small time, because that doesn't really match up with the original fiction that well, but it hurts
Wasn't
me.
he like killed for taking down corpse or whatever, or being like
No,
He was a terrorist.
yeah, it's part of the storyline of 77. You'll find out.
okay?
If you haven't already read it, it's actually really cool to watch happen.
No, I just know stuff about Silverhand from 2020 lore, because
Yeah.
I do know.
Let me just mention, without it being a spoiler, that there is a mission you play through in 2077 that is actually a recreation of one of the short stories, Cyberpunk short stories from
interesting.
from the RPG, but it ends a little bit differently. Like it's not quite the same. And I thought, okay, they've done it differently. But then later on, your character references the way it ended, and someone says, "That's not how it ended." You know, you're seeing his recollection of how it ended. So I like that callback to the fact that maybe what was in the original short story was actually the way things ended, rather than the way that the character portrayed themselves in that memory.
I'm glad that they actually got Pondsmith on board with this game, because with The Witcher and their like weird relationship with the author of The Witcher and how they had to like do weird stuff with it.
Oh no, he's back on board now with them.
He's back on board now, but through all the games he
was
wasn't.
bitching really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, he really
That's
wasn't
because
really.
he sold it to them for fucking next to nothing, because he didn't believe video games were a thing.
Yeah, but also like I'd assume that also affected the storyline that they could have told if they actually had the author's input, if the author believed in them at all, like I assume Pondsmith does now, just because of their track record. But that's cool.
Okay. Do we have anything else on that outro, or are we hopping over to the Glimo?
Oh, is it my outro?
I thought it was your outro. Did we get... Maybe Dave derailed us by talking about backstories? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember. Let's do your outro then, drummer.
We did more backstory stuff though. Like we did see a bit of Wolfgang's with his husband and Arasaka stuff.
Yeah, don't worry. I got more for that planned.
Yeah,
well, I wonder if Arasaka will play a big part in the upcoming storylines. I don't know. Gee.
No.
I was basically like, Arthur, pick any Megacorp you want, man. It's all good. And he's just like, fucking everyone's Arasaka.
Just remember, Arasaka's sniffing up everybody's butts, and Johnny Silverhand's coming to New Redline City.
Wow. I'm Drumurboy. I make music and put it online, and there will be more music. early next year. Hopefully, it'll probably be under a different alias because it's me and a buddy doing a collab. It doesn't sound anything like either of our previous works, so we're just gonna like put it on a new
Drumurboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's probably gonna be like, I don't know.
Give me your longest drummer, boy.
The other guy, his name is Matt. He goes under Riviere, which is also a very common thing on Spotify and all this stuff. But he's got a few like singer folky albums out. But we both like, it's a lot different from stuff that either of us does, really. It's just like a mashup of weird jams that we did over the past 2 years. But yeah, on cool fucking back end Spotify news, Spotify does their like yearly recaps of like who did you listen to and who listened to you and whatever. In my artist thing, it was like 20.1, like 20,000 listens for the past year.
Nice.
And already the weird Christmas song that I did for roleplay 3 years ago is at 6.5 thousand listens already this year. So that's like almost half, like over a quarter of my entire last year's stream numbers. So that's
How do I find you on Spotify? Because I've got a Spotify account as of this last week.
Drumurboy, just same way it's spelled here.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my music. And then the roleplay music I did is roleplay radio, which is less popular because roleplay imploded, but you know, so be it. Are we playing next week? Is that a thing
I'm
we're
good.
doing?
But is everybody else good?
Yep.
That's the 31st.
It'll be New Year's Eve for me.
30th.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, because it's New Year's Eve for like half the cast. So are we doing it?
My wife's working, so I'll just be at home with the kids on the Xbox.
The Xbox.
I'll
This
let you
Xbox
guys
is
know.
legendary at this point.
I'll
All
let
right,
you guys know.
we have a maybe.
because,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna write maybe in there.
Cool. Because I'll maybe if we don't have an episode next week, maybe by the time we play again, I will have played more Cyberpunk if it's fixed for me.
Cool. You know, speaking of people who play Cyberpunk, let's talk to Glimo.
I'm Glimo. It was fun tonight. I like some of the, more downtime and backstory episodes. It's nice to not be, dying all the time.
Someone said there was no combat in this episode, but there was a landmine that became the meme of the entire episode, so I don't know that that's true.
That is going to transcend this episode. I hope you know
I
that.
hope so. Listen, it's probably not the last landmine you're going to face. It might be the last one under Bishop's bed, but it's probably not the last one you're ever going to see.
Look, if the first comment on YouTube for this episode isn't click, I'll be disappointed.
I know that you guys like to say that Pascal is kind of useless a lot of the time, but I bet
He
that
did
he's
show up
really
on
happy
call and disarm a bomb.
that I put all those points into demolitions.
Secondary
Last
episode title: My face was a landmine. That's a pretty good.
He has to stop himself from face palming all the time, or else he'll blow up.
Yeah, or he can only face palm once.
And that's how every one of the 3-strip gag panels that he's in ends. He just face palms when he blows up.
Yeah. Other than that, Solaris Nights will be going public day after tomorrow, so check me out in some of those episodes. And yeah, that's it. Merry, everybody.
Marcus Bishop, aka Grimdarkjames, thank you for giving us all a lecture on security. It is who you are, what you are, and what you know. Something like that, right?
Correct. Who you are, what you have, and what you know.
And the fourth factor is where you are.
Yeah.
Look at all these people talking security.
thank you for the game. Once again, I had a great time. It's always fun to play some Cyberpunk. I stopped playing Cyberpunk so I can play Cyberpunk today. I'm going to go back to play some more Cyberpunk now. But then it's like 8 hours from Christmas here, so I'm going to get ready for that onslaught of family and everything. Although, that being said, Sydney has had like 30, 40 new cases in the last week, so we're back to like a semi-hard lockdown right now. So,
oh my god, can you imagine locking down on 30 cases? Oof, Jesus.
That's like,
I'm sorry, James. That's good. That's good. Just to be clear, I live in America.
it's like locking down a cul-de-sac in America.
Yeah.
There are less people coming to Christmas dinner tomorrow than there should have been, or than there would have been, I should say. But everyone's accepting of the situation as it is.
I would uninvite my cat if I could.
There you go. And I'll be back here on Saturday for Rogue Trader, along with Henley and Arthur and Pondo and Spoon. So
I can't wait to negotiate with a woman who's called the Spider Bride and is basically made up of tubes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so no way it's going to get weird.
It's just an HR Geiger portrait, pretty much.
I can't wait for Pondo to be like, here's all the information we want. Also, here's some secret information about me. Just give away the whole store at the very beginning.
I can't imagine HR Giger's face when he heard he's making a spider thing that has 8 legs, so he can do whatever he wants.
Look, James, I just assume I'm going to have to kill this woman before the halfway break of the episode.
It's highly likely.
All right, I'm going to double check what weapons I currently have on my character then. That's right, I have a missile launcher now. That should help. Got anything else, James?
No.
Perfect. Whether you're watching on your Xbox or on your home box, we'll be here. Maybe next week, maybe next year. Who can tell? Have yourselves a very Merry Christmas or whatever solstice-style holiday you people celebrate. We'll see you then. Oh, everybody waved at the same time. It was so nice. We're getting good at this.